Welcome to Zonk. Story 1. I, 25 female, understand that what I did was wrong. I don't deny that or try to excuse it in any way. I feel horrible about it and I'll do anything that I can to make this right. So while I understand calling me names is fair game, I'm really looking for advice on what to do here. Very early on in our relationship, 6 weeks to be exact, I went on a trip to visit my sister at her school. The second night there, we attended a huge party and I was dancing and drinking. And one guy in particular kept hitting on me, and as the night wore on, I started flirting back. I make no excuses. I was drinking but was not drunk. He did not rape or take advantage of me. I just made a horrible judgment call and I ended up going with him back to his room. I knew the moment it started it was wrong, and I ended up crying while I was laying there. I got up and left as soon as he was done. To this day, I don't even know his last name. My sister was so wasted she went home with a friend and never knew I didn't spend the night at her place, as I was there before she got home. I went back home and was just guilt-ridden, and although I knew it would cost me my new boyfriend, now fiancé, at the time I was going to tell him and beg him to forgive me. When I see him the next day, he's already very depressed. He did not get the job offer he thought he was going to get, and he was very down. I decided that I didn't want to add to his depression, so I spent the entire day trying to cheer him up and be a comfort for him. Then the next time I see him, he's so happy with me because he said that I was able to make him forget about how crappy his life was at that moment, that once again, I didn't tell him. Yes, I know it was wrong both times, but I was young, immature, and scared. After those 2 times, we were getting along so well that I just put it in my head that nobody other than myself and the other guy even knew it happened, so why ruin a great thing when I knew I would never do it again and I would never see or hear from this other guy? Flash forward to 2 months ago. We've been together for years now, and in fact we've been together longer than any of our friends have been with their SOs. We love each other and we live together. He asks me to marry him. I was overjoyed and of course said yes. We told our family and our friends and everyone for us. But 2 days after he asks me, I became overwhelmed by guilt. I called into work because I couldn't function and spent the entire morning sitting on the couch crying. I was a liar and a cheat, and I had tricked my boyfriend into proposing, when in fact if he knew about it from the start, he would have probably broken up with me. I decided I couldn't live the rest of my life like that and determined that when he came home, I had to tell him no matter what his mood was. The other part of this that is important is that I'm his first and only sexual partner. He knew that I had been with one other guy before we got together, but that never bothered him, or so I thought. He comes home and immediately sees that I'm a mess and asks what's wrong. I tell him and he's understandably very upset, very emotional. I tell him that I'll do anything to prove to him that I've never done anything like that since, nor will I ever do anything like that in the future. I offer to let him go through my tablet, phone, Facebook, anything, and he says that it won't be necessary because he doesn't want us to live like that. He said that he wanted some time to himself to think and that he would sleep on the couch. I told him that I would give him all the time he wanted or needed, but that I would be the one sleeping on the couch, not him. The next morning, he's quiet but doesn't show any bitterness towards me. I just asked if he was okay, as I didn't want to pry into his thoughts. He told me that of course he was hurt and upset. He said the hardest thing for him was the time frame because he doesn't know if being upset is justifiable or silly at this length of time. I told him he was certainly justified to be upset and we both went to work. A week goes by and he seems to get a little better every day, to the point that we both went out to have a somewhat celebration dinner for our engagement with one of his friends. Everything was fine until Wednesday when he tells me he'll be back very late from work. This doesn't bother me at all because this can be a somewhat normal occurrence. When they start on one project, they can't stop until it's completed, and there have been times it's taken 16 hours to do so. So I spend the evening catching up on some work I was behind on, watched a movie I knew he wouldn't want to watch, and then went to bed. I woke up the next morning and he still wasn't there. I texted him and asked him where he was. He just replied with, "I'm on my way home." We pass each other on the street as I had to get to work. I call him and he just says that he was longer than expected and was going home for some sleep. Okay, this isn't normal, but he did give me a heads up and he wasn't acting weird or suspicious, so I just went about my day. I come home and he's sitting in the living room waiting for me. Long story short, he told me that he spent last night with Tracy, a married woman from his work. I just collapsed in the chair. He then goes on to tell me that this was a one-time thing and that she's in an open marriage, and he has no feelings for her and she has none for him. But he said that he felt completely paralyzed with anger and envy about me not only having slept with this other guy, but over my previous relationship as well. He said he knew he was wrong, but he just felt like he had to be with someone else just once, so he wouldn't feel so insecure about me being with other guys, and he had only been with me. I started crying, of course, and then got pissed and started yelling at him. Then he stops me and says, "Why am I yelling at him? I cheated first, and when he found out about it, he never yelled at me," which is true, he didn't. He says he regrets the action. Really regrets feeling like he cheapened himself in the process, but that while he is sorry it has hurt me. He says that even though it was wrong and he knows it was wrong, he said he's sorry but felt like it was something he had to do. Now he wants us to move on like nothing happened. I have no idea what to do from here. I would be the world's biggest hypocrite if I left him, but I'm so hurt that I just don't know how we go forward from here. Sorry for the wall of text. Any advice would be appreciated. His entire perception of you is shattered, as every smile you shared with him over 4 years now appears to have been built on a significant lie. The delayed disclosure of certain truths over a 5-year period raises doubts about your credibility and makes it difficult for him to trust anything you say. Moreover, he questions whether you've been faithful beyond the one known instance, given the phenomenon of trickle truth. It's important to acknowledge that his actions were hurtful, and they expose a deeper issue within your relationship regarding problem solving and working through challenges together, rather than seeking external involvement. While you may have viewed your relationship positively, he may have felt the need to balance the scales to prevent you from holding any power over him. Comments. Yeah, I suggest that at the very least, you two hold off on any wedding planning that you may be doing. Other than that, you two are going to need some serious counseling to get past this. But to be honest, I think your relationship might be doomed. You made a bad mistake by cheating, then another really bad mistake by hiding it from him. But he went and did the same thing. For what? To know whether the grass truly is greener? For revenge? He says it's something he had to do, as if him doing it would somehow make what you did okay. In reality, it hurt you very badly, and I can guarantee it won't make him feel any better. Nor will it allow him to simply just get over your cheating. You know your cheating was wrong, and you should not have waited so long to tell him. But revenge is no reason to cheat either. He was wrong to do so. I think you should move on and find someone new. Your trust has been shattered, both of you, and likely will never recover. Your relationship is over. Don't get married to this guy. You cheated, now he revenge cheated. There's no coming back from this. He obviously resented you so much he felt the need to cheat. Now you're going to resent him. This is why you should have either gone to the grave with your secret or told him sooner. Now you two are engaged. Your friends and family are all celebrating the fact you are, and your engagement is over. Your relationship is dead. And it could have been stopped if back when you originally cheated, you had said something. Story 2. 26 female, recently had an affair with someone else and was caught by my boyfriend. I met my boyfriend 27 almost 2 years ago, and we were moved fast in the beginning. After 2 months, I moved in with him. We were on the path of getting married and starting a family. As relationship goes, he started taking me for granted, and I started to feel lonely. And when I brought the attention to him that I was not happy, he brushed me away. And eventually I seek attention from someone else, a doctor friend. I was always a distant friend to this doctor I used to work for. With no intention of getting close to him, especially a married man, I finally picked up his call one day, and eventually he started calling me more often. And we started going out to get desserts at night. Because of my profession, we had a lot in common. 2 months passed. I eventually got attached to him. My boyfriend warned me to stay away from him, but I didn't listen. Eventually, I moved out of my boyfriend's house and wanted to be independent. My boyfriend did everything for me then because he realized his mistakes. But I was so blind to see that, and a part of me got greedy. I knew I didn't have a future with this doctor friend. So when I tried to end the friendship with him, he opposed. He would get sad every time I distanced myself from him, but I would feel sympathetic towards him. Long story short, eventually I slept with him a couple times and my boyfriend found out, due to an evidence left at my place. When I saw how hurt he was, I realized how wrong I was, and I completely cut my doctor friend out of my life. My boyfriend is really understanding and is willing to give us a second chance. I'm trying my best to make it up to him, but he would think about what I did to him every now and then and get sad and hurt. It's been about a little less than a month that all of this happened. Please tell me what is the best option for us. I really do love him. I really want to erase this mistake of mine and continue where my boyfriend and I left off. I know my boyfriend loves going on Reddit, so I'm seeking advice from strangers who somehow is a part of his life. If you genuinely seek the best solution, I would suggest considering a separation from your boyfriend. This would allow him to heal and potentially pursue a future with you if he's able to forgive you. A commendable choice on his part, as I'm not sure I could do the same. Alternatively, it would provide him an opportunity, free from your negative influence, to explore whether there might be someone else out there who is a better match for him. My intuition tells me that there are plenty of people who could be a better fit, and I apologize for that. It's disheartening to realize that there are men who are willing to cheat on their partner so easily, only to face being patronized and humiliated by their new lovers as a consequence. Although I don't sympathize with him, did your doctor friend know about your relationship? Neither of you seem to care about his marriage. However, if he had been aware and given the chance, he might have cared about your relationship. Good luck. Engaging in self-reflection and introspection will undoubtedly benefit all of us. Comments. Break up with him and let him find someone who isn't so neglectful. See, what he did was bad, but what you did was much worse. So it's good to know all a guy has to do to get into your pants is cry a little, throw a little temper tantrum, and buy you a Snickers bar. Let's cut out this shit, shall we? You were happy enough to cheat with a married man and only became concerned with your ex-BF's feelings when he caught you out. Those are not the actions of someone who's in love, but of somebody who simply does not want to be alone. If you do harbor any genuine feelings for this guy, then do him the biggest favor of his life to properly heal from your betrayal, and will also give you some time alone to work on yourself.